You know, back when we spoke a few years ago, we had a lot of New York City, Long Island people coming here making acquisitions. And the purchase prices were favorable and a good rate for the seller, a great rate for the buyer. And they really did a justice for everybody. It had a lot of excitement going on. In the last couple of years, what happens is that, you know, it's one of those things that people don't like to hear, but truthfully, you have a building that's assessed for $800,000.
Yeah.
I sell the building for $2.1 million. The building is the same building at 800. It's the same building at 2.1 million. It's the same tenants.
Yeah.
Those people that own the building at $800,000 assessment owned it for 10, 15, 20 years. The people that buy it at $2.1 million now have their tax assessment tripled, their taxes triple, and it basically destroys a bottom line or a cap rate or an income ratio. And so the people that are coming in, you know, sort of been taking it on the chin a little bit in the sense that, you know, I think to see taxes go from 20,000 to 60,000 is sort of tough. Working with the new buyers, working with the new investors, the city should sit back and work with them and maybe have a slight escalation over a 5 or a 10-year period instead of coming in right away and hitting them. And so what it does is it's more fair to the investor coming in. I mean, a lot of people could argue the point that, well, this is the new value, we're going to assess it for the new value. But I sit back and say, that, you know, I think that instead of doubling or tripling taxes, you should maybe have an escalation or a gradual escalation on the taxes.
Yeah. All right.
So that is the new trend. What is the new trend? I think the buying has slowed down. The financial market across America has been nightmarish. I think people are still purchasing real estate, but you know, I do believe that people are being a little more reserved, a little more careful. I also think, truthfully, the banks, where they would have a little more flexibility with an investor, are far more stringent now, to the point of maybe over the top stringent. So therefore, getting loans, getting renovation monies, acquisition monies, I think are more difficult today. The interest rates are favorable, but getting the money is 5 or 10 times harder. So the trends, as you sort of hit the question on, nail on the head with the question, and that is, you know, where is it? The financial market's rough across America. The presidents are discussing depression and recession and collapse constantly. And I think that, you know, real estate is the one thing that across history is something that you can hold on to even during recessions. The question mark is getting the real estate becomes more difficult.
Yeah, it's everything. Late last year, Forbes magazine and the Today Show named Binghamton the top city in the real estate market in terms of quality of life and affordability. What was your reaction to that, if you knew about it?
Well, I did know about it. And you know what, listen, this is my hometown. I'm 53 years old. I truthfully love Binghamton, Vestal, New York. I live in Vestal. I was born 3 blocks away here in downtown Binghamton. So I happen to love Binghamton, and I love Vestal, and I could live anywhere in the world. But on the same note, we probably have rain 100 out of every 365 days.
Yeah.
We have snow 100 out of every 365 days. That leaves us a potential 165 days of decent weather.
Yeah.
And so this place during the summer and fall is a beautiful place, really. And so is it the best place for acquisition and quality of life? I think that, you know, it's a little overstated, but not for me to be negative on the community. I think that, you know, we've got our pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
It's we have great teachers, we have a great police and great fire departments, and it's a hometown atmosphere. Would you want to live in Boca Raton, Fort Myers, Palm Springs, Santa Monica? You know, there's different qualities of life. So, do I think we're one of the top in the country? Yes and no. It's cute to hear.